Hey, kia ora, Helen Brahms here, coming live from Sun City in Arizona. Hope you're having a super fantastic, sparkling start to Magic Monday. Yes, this is the day of the week where we set the magic up to create us an incredible, awesome, amazing week. So are you ready for that? Oh, I hope you are. So what magic are you creating this week? We have 10 ways to create magic in your life. So let's rock through these. We may not get through them all, which means you'll have to come back tonight to get the rest of them, but let's see how we do time-wise. So my first question to you is, what magic are you creating this week? What projects are you working on that you are going to finalize this week and release it to the world to create your magic there? Maybe it's something internal that you're working on. Whatever you are doing to create magic this week, let's give you some great ideas on how to do it. Number one, know that we all contain our own magic. Believe that you have the magic in you to do what you need to do. And what do you believe? What are your beliefs? Think about your beliefs. They are core values. If you've ever done the, who does it? The Strengths Finder. My number, there's 30, oh, jeepers, it's been a while, 37 different traits that people have, and when you take the assessment, it puts it in order of what you see the most important to the least important. My number one strength is belief. It is a very hard thing for me to unbelieve something that I have believed in for a long time. You have to prove it to me over and over and over again. It takes a lot to show me that that my belief system is wrong. I don't move much from my belief system. So what is your belief system? What are your core values that you believe in? Follow them. Be with them. Believe in them. Believe in your core values. Don't get wishy-washy. Either you believe it or you don't. There's no in between. Number two, be in the now with a childlike attitude. If you watch children playing, I got woken up to this with my oldest grandson, and then watching the other two come along, and even watching Zeffy as well as a dog, even watching the dogs and things. If you're watching dogs and you're watching children, they are very much in the now. They don't care what's going to happen in the next 10 minutes, the next hour, the next day, the next week. They don't care. They are more concerned about what's happening right here, right now. And, so you kind of have to be in the now. You have to be present in order to feel the magic. So be childlike, be in that moment. Yes, we will get time to dream. We'll talk about that in a moment. Number three, do everything from a place of love. When you come from a place of love, that is the highest vibration you can send out to everybody. And when you do everything from love, it comes with genuine feeling, genuine emotions. It is an amazing feeling to have, and there's times that I get into it and times I drop out of it and I go back into it and everything else. But love being the highest vibrations, I don't stay there all the time. As much as I would love to, I don't. I don't know. I'm working on the mental side of that. But I strive every day to become more from a place of love than anything else. So that's something that I do, that I try and practice every day. And the highest vibration of love, what is the name of that book? The woman who wrote The Secret wrote another one. What's it called? I think it's called The Power. And that is all about coming from a place of love and the vibration that love has. It's a really cool book, and I've listened to it multiple times. And I still go back and listen to it and I go back and I listen to specific chapters on specific topics, because it could be that I'm having a challenge in that area. So I go listen to that chapter on that particular topic to help me get through that area. Number four, embrace yourself for who you are. Who are you? Embrace yourself in that. This one I struggle with a lot, but it's looking for things to love about myself. Yes, I do love myself as I am. Every day I look in the mirror and I'll just be like, throw an expression on my face and go, I like that expression. Love you, girl, and walk out away from the mirror. I tend to avoid mirrors. I don't like looking at myself. When I was doing weight training and stuff back in LA, and my trainer, he would say, okay, we're going to sit here. And he says, I want you to look yourself in the mirror. I want you to see your form and everything else. I just looked and went, that ain't going to happen. I said, I will sit there, but I am not going to look in the mirror. I don't like looking in the mirror at myself. I don't know what, maybe it is because it's part of me having to accept who I am, how I look, and that sort of thing. But I tend to avoid mirrors. So that's something that I have to overcome. And you see everybody in the gym there, and they're all like looking in the mirror and doing their arm curls, their bicep curls, all their squats. And, they're always checking themselves out in the mirror. And I'm like, I'm not that person. I do me. So I would sit there and I would do that, and he'd get me set up in the correct form, and I'll just start doing the bicep curls or whatever it was he was having me done from the mirror, and I'd be looking everywhere except that big, huge honking mirror that is on the wall in front of you, square in your face. I always look everywhere else. And I'd look down at the floor. I'd look at the weights underneath the mirror. I'd look up above whatever was above the mirror. There was actually nothing up there, but I would not look in the mirror at myself. And that was a struggle that Anthony had with me, is getting me to watch myself in the mirror so I could check my form. But that's not something that I did. So that's something that I work with on a daily basis. So I make sure that whenever I do catch myself in the mirror, that I say something positive about myself. So that's my way of working on that and learning to look at myself in the mirror a little more often. I will tell you the hardest thing that I have to do, and I was given this by my accountability coach, was to get eyeball to eyeball with yourself in the mirror and have a conversation with yourself, eyeball to eyeball in the mirror. Yeah, that is a work in progress. Number 5. And look at the time. It's going to be our last one for today. Number 5, we're going to do the other 5 this evening. Number 5, look for miracles in your life. Miracles happen all around you. I mean, just look at nature. That is a miracle in itself. You can take something as small as an acorn, and then it grows into a big oak tree. And it's like, that is so cool. When you see how big those acorns are and then how massive these oak trees get, it's like, wow. I mean, even think of, a newborn baby. That's a miracle in itself. Every person is a walking miracle. You see the colors in nature. You look up at the sky at night and see the sunsets, or in the mornings you see the sunrises. Those are just miracles. Everything around you is a miracle. The fact that you can get into a metal tube with these bits of metal that stick out from the side and take off from the ground and fly through the air. I mean, that in itself is an engineering miracle. They always say the bumblebee is not aerodynamic at all. It should not even be able to fly, but the bumblebee doesn't know that. Think about that. And then the other 5 we're going to have to do this evening because I'm running out of time. I'm going to go get on a call. But I hope before we leave, your question of the day is, who took care of you when you were little? So when you grew up, did you have a parent at home, a grandparent, an aunt and uncle? Maybe you had a nanny, you were in daycare. Who looked after you when you were little? My mum was a stay-at-home mum. I always wanted to be a stay-at-home mum. I wanted to be like my mum. I wanted to be a nurse as well, but the dentist put a quash on that one. I did fulfill that wish of being a nurse. I wanted to be like my mum. My mum always took care of us, always made sure we had food on the table, we had clothes to wear. She even made some of our clothes, knit them, sewed them. She's an awesome mum. She's still around, and I appreciate her every single day. And I always wanted to be like my mum, and she was a nurse, and I had a dentist who put the kibosh on that when I was 16 with him and needles in my mouth. That did not, yes, we won't go there. That was a traumatic experience. But my mum was always there, and I wanted to be a nurse until I had that incident with the thing. But then when Brad got cancer, I got to be a nurse in a way because I was his caregiver. So I did get to fulfill my nursing things. I had to give him, there were shots I had to give him. From the moment he was diagnosed with cancer, I lost my fear of needles. Not completely, but mostly. I didn't almost pass out when they tried to take blood. Now I can sit there. I get a little heady, but I'm able to breathe through it and get through it. I can't look at what they do. But with Brad, I watched every needle go, and I even gave him shots. There was a time I had to give him shots. I got over my fear of needles and was giving him shots. When he was in the hospitals, I was taking care of him more than the nurses were. But the nursing staff was overstretched. They were. And so I would take care of him there. When he was at home, I was his caregiver there as well. So I got to fulfill my nursing dream. I guess you could say that. So, who took care of you when you were little? And that's it. We are out of here. I got to get moving, but go out, have a super fantastic sparkling day, and come back around, 5 p.m. Pacific time, I think it is, because it's going to be 6 p.m. for me. I'm keeping my same schedule, even though I'm now on Mountain Time. So 6 p.m. Mountain Time. We'll be back at 6 p.m. Mountain Time, and we'll give you the other 5 from this morning's 10 Ways to Create Magic in Your Life. Go out, have a super fantastic sparkling day, and create your own magic. Create your magic. Look for magic in everything. There's magic all around us. It's an incredible feeling. Good day, and we will catch you back here at 6 p.m. Mountain Time. Until then,